I agree with Senator Ron Johnson and Senator Lindsey Graham. Send the military, take out these fucking cartels.
Yeah, but get this,
Fall
they also
into
put
obscurity.
they put a map up of America of where all the cartels have now situated after the border's been open. There's over 50 spots
They've
around the United
infiltrated
States that they're now taking over. I mean, you're literally, and they're just now, they've labelled them as a terrorist organisation. What about the 50 or so establishments now in your own country, dickheads?
Don't
So
send
now
law
they're calling the
enforcement.
military. They're calling the military in.
Don't call law enforcement. Call the SEALs. Call Delta Force. Call the Rangers.
Yeah, they've called it
violence of action. That's the only language these people speak.
Yeah, well, they've basically said now they're labelling it a terrorist organisation, these cartels. So they're working with the Defence Force to implement how they're going to handle it. Because now not only is fentanyl coming across the border, and they've got these cartel-related executions or whatever when people can't pay their bill happening in their own streets now. It's not just that. American citizens went over to Mexico for a medical procedure, and out of the 4 of them, 2 of them were kidnapped and 2 of them were shot in front of their friends. They rescued the 2 that were kidnapped, and they're now being treated in Texas hospital for their treatment. But the point is, they're running everything. They run it on your side of the border, and now they're killing you on their side of the border. And right before spring break, when everybody is looking at booking their holidays to Mexico, this is not good, people. So they're looking at deploying the military in to try and combat this, but I think they're going to have to start from inside their own country first. Secure that border, dickheads. Build that wall.
You guys have got some of the greatest fucking infiltrators on the face of the planet. The CIA. Use them. Stop spying on parents and spy on cartels.
Yeah, fucking, it's getting beyond a joke. Like, I mean, America, you can't be that blind. Tell me you're seeing what we're seeing, right? I mean, you've got
we're
more
on the other side of
deaths
the world, guys, and we can see this.
You've got more deaths over there now from fentanyl than what you would have in World War. Like, this is bad, guys. I mean, to touch base, I also need to address that 14 kids aged 7 to, I think it was 11, caught a school bus to a primary school here in Townsville. And before lunch, all 14 of them were rushed to hospital with severe stomach pains, throwing up, and lightheadedness. Toxicology hasn't come back, but all the kids were offered lollies on the bus to school. So just a heads up to parents, please, you still need to drum in that information. You know, the same old, don't talk to strangers, don't take lollies from strangers, don't pat people's dogs. That still needs to be drilled in. These are innocent kids, and there are predators out there that will take advantage of this. So I hope they get to the bottom of it. I hope they catch the creep that's done this. But all the kids are on the mend, and they will make a full recovery, thankfully, it wasn't anything serious.
Does this not further give me credence for Townsville being the worst fucking place
it's a shocker
for crime in Australia?
Yeah, look,
we hear about all the crime and the robberies in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. You constantly hear about that, but you don't hear about the shit that happens here.
Yeah, no, it was yeah. See, we've got this long-standing thing here in Queensland. Queensland's a very big state.
Twice the size of Texas, guys.
And so where the focus, when you say Queensland, the capital of Queensland is Brisbane, which is the CBD. It's a bustling metropolis. It's a crowded city. Anyway, apparently a hotspot. Can't even see it. But Brisbane is apparently Queensland. And that's all that matters. So anything, I mean, you'll hear about the Sunshine Coast, you know, that sort of thing. You won't hear any further up from, like, let's say, what do you reckon, Bundaberg? Bundaberg you hear stuff about. Yeah, probably Gladstone. So Gladstone, upwards, you don't hear nothing, okay? We don't exist. There's no communities up here. We don't have any sort of resemblance to a city. I'm just going to stop right there. Motherfuckers, we do have doors that open automatically. We are not an outback town, okay?
You know what?
We're a big part of Queensland, people.
Just for a bit of fun, I'm going to bring this up, right? And I'm going to type in the Queensland electoral map. Here we go. I'm going to enlighten the rest of the fucking country.
World.
Or world, just how bad it is here in Queensland for our fucking state leaders. Are we ready for this? Look at that, guys.
Queensland's huge.
North Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, click to enlarge for the areas for the electorates. South Brisbane, Gold Coast, click to enlarge for the areas for the electorates.
All
Have a look at
clustered.
fucking Hinchinbrook.
We have one.
Hinchinbrook up here. There's a lot of fucking infrastructure that needs to be done on that Coral Sea there, eh? Most of their electorate is fucking water.
So this, it just furthers the point that they wonder
What
why
the
everything's out of
fuck?
control in Townsville, because we're just not being heard. So, Anastasia Palaszczuk, I know you were just up here, and that looks good for all the cameras and mainstream media, but motherfucker, you're not doing nothing for us up here. We're screaming for help, and you don't give a shit because we're not Brisbane. Your pride and joy.
Look at all that fucking area in there. All those lines in Brisbane. There is a fucking electorate for 5 square kilometres in Brisbane.
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me.
That takes up a seat in fucking Parliament.
When we lived in Ipswich, I couldn't work out who the hell my electorate was. I was just like, this is crazy. There's just so many.
Look at my former area, MWII. MWII is a tiny little dot. MWII encompasses everything all the way out to the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, right.
So much
It's
infrastructure, heaps of roads need to be fucking fixed out there, guys.
Like, it's crazy. You guys really don't care about anything north of Gladstone, and it's a big chunk of Queensland that you're missing. Like, Townsville's not a small place. How much? Can you Google what's the population for Townsville currently? Do you know? Can you Google it quick? I think it'll blow your mind how many people actually live in Townsville.
Townsville
I mean,
population as of 2022. 203,620.
Yeah, we're just a baby town. But you know what? At the end of the day, right, we have a casino. I'm sorry, no major cities don't have casinos.
Including transitory population, there's 250,000 fucking people live up here.
Yep. And how many people live in Brisbane? Just in comparison. I know there's a fair bit in Brisbane because Brisbane's a big place too, but, well, not really. They've just squished everybody in there, but
2 million, 2.5 million.
yeah, it is a lot bigger. So, yeah, okay, we might not make up the majority of Queensland, but we're still a big part of it. And every time there's a natural disaster up here, we're forgotten. So it can be that the roads are flooded and nobody will give two shits that there's nothing on the Townsville grocery shelves. Like, we don't exist. And it's crazy. I mean, she was up here, what, last week? Last week.
We don't exist up here in accordance with the state government. But Townsville has Australia's largest army base.
There's two, actually.
Let's think about that.
There's two. There's an army base here, and there's a RAF base as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Brisbane has what, one? Amberley.
It's got the super base. The Super Air Force Base, which is Amberley. And then you got Oakey, which is the aviation wing of the army.
That's Toowoomba. That's different range. There's another one down there. Amberley and
Gallipoli Barracks.
Maybe.
Gallipoli
But either way, we've got, I think, the highest amount of defence members living here in Townsville in this part of Queensland. So
that's why I included a transitory population, because there's at least 30,000, 40,000 troops that come in and rotate every 12 months to 2 years through Townsville.
Yeah, if you go to Townsville Strand or the Oceanside, you will have your apartments and high rises and whatnot, and a lot of businesses. Sure, But in actual rural areas, you won't find anything bigger than a 2-story house. But if you think population-wise, Brisbane, a lot of Brisbane's high-rise apartments. So it's young ones doing their university, doing their lawyer degrees, working at law firms. It's all single. A lot of them are single or just couples in units, and they're stacked one upon the other. So in actual fact, you're probably looking at Townsville as a bigger area with more people area-wise than what you are Brisbane. Brisbane would be probably overpopulated. So I get where the focus is on Brisbane, but at the end of the day, Brisbane's not where everything happens. I mean, you're forgetting up here in the north is all your cane farmers, your cotton growers, all this, and your banana growers, your banana plantations, the mining. Without North Queensland, you don't get shit down south. So let's be absolutely frank, you need us.
And I'm sorry.
So why are we forgotten?
But North and Central Queensland bring in, and I'm not just talking about the state, I'm talking about the country, 30% of Australia's GDP.
Yeah.
That's not just the state, that is the country.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we've got bad crime up here. We've got problems. But I think if we were given a little bit more attention by our state premier, I think things would be actually able to be turned around. But at this point, they're saying basically, I don't think it'll be long before Townsville's a no-go area for down south because of the crime. It's just getting ridiculous. You're not safe, even in your own home anymore. Best security, hands down, get yourself a dog.
Put on your front fence, entry by appointment only. Don't put guard dog, because then it indicates that you got a nasty dog. Entry by appointment only. If they don't have an appointment for you to know that they are there, your insurance does not cover anyone for what happens to them inside your property. That is law.
I do believe that you can actually legally get a sign that says dog on duty.
No.
But
still
I'd have to Google it.
It's still indicating that you got a dangerous animal.
Yeah, the problem with it is once you put that sign up, if a neighbour complains because they got young kids next door or whatever, that the dogs are unruly, you fear for your kids' safety, what they'll do is they'll come around to your house, they'll assess your dog, and if they deem that he's okay, best case scenario, they're leaving giving you a muzzle to keep on your dog at all times. So worst case scenario is they get attacked walking in and your dog's gone. So putting that up is kind of an advertisement for anybody to lose their dog, as far as I'm concerned. Dogs are there to do a job. They're also there as man's best friend. Don't get me wrong. You've seen my dog. He's treated like royalty. But at the end of the day, I trust him to alert me to the fact that someone's in my house or in my yard. I trust my animals more than I do a security camera. Do you want to hear a really disturbing thing I saw on YouTube News? A huge big FBI sting got. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing because of why you think I'm laughing. Just let me finish. The FBI did a security sting and busted a young man with a huge child pornography collection and distributing material online. But this is where it gets. I've got questions and I don't know if I want them answered. They brought in the sniffer dogs that found the contraband. My question in all this is, and I can't believe I'm going to say it, what was the dog sniffing for?
I'll leave that open to
You
interpretation.
train that dog because something's not. It's disturbing. I've got questions, but I really don't know if I want to know the answers. Look, I'm glad he's behind bars, but that poor dog.